Okay, so starting off today's show, I wanted to talk a little bit about Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And the Bills are a very interesting team. I feel like they're a team that I haven't really spoken that much about on this podcast, just due to the fact that, they're the Buffalo Bills and they haven't really won that big of a game in that big of a spot yet. And yeah, they're the Buffalo Bills. They're not really, the most popular team in the National Football League, especially when they're irrelevant. But they are the opposite of relevant right now. They are a very good football team. Sean McDermott has done an unbelievable job leading this Buffalo Bills team to right now what it looks like to be the top of the AFC. And on this topic today, I wanted to talk about their quarterback, Josh Allen. And if you listen to the show, like you guys know, I wasn't that high on Josh Allen and the Bills going into this season, and I think he's one of the very interesting players in the league, and especially one of the more appealing players to talk about. I think that as sport writers and sport journalists, we aren't really allowed sometimes to change our opinions about athletes, because if we were, I would say that Josh Allen has become shockingly effective, and even though he does scare me in big spots and big time moments, he's one of the most fun players to watch in the NFL. He's very entertaining. I'm not even going to deny that myself. And his ability to play quarterback has been a point of contention that in football has been in circles for years. Heading into that draft, I think analysts were divided into two camps. The first was the people that were obsessed with his tools and salivated over the prospect with the prototype built and the cannon arm. And the second was horrified by his college statistics, and that they couldn't really look past that. His underwhelming college numbers. The tools saw an athletic marvel unlike any other, while the stats saw a QB who barely managed any competency against the Mountain West, who's a Group of Five conference. But in year 3 of Josh Allen's career, I think we could all agree he's an effective NFL quarterback, and he's going to be the quarterback of the Bills for the near future. My only thing is this: when I look at Josh Allen, I think he's played much better than anyone could have ever expected him to play, not only this season, but last season and 2 seasons ago as well. Many people forget 2 years ago, in 2018, Josh Allen's rookie season, the Buffalo Bills, week 1 of that season, got absolutely destroyed at home by the Baltimore Ravens. I don't know if there are any either Raven or Bills fans that are listening right now, but if you remember that game, Buffalo got absolutely destroyed in that game. Like, it wasn't even close. And then the next week was when Vontae Davis retired at halftime. You guys remember that? So that was really Josh Allen's first season in Buffalo, and ultimately, when Sean McDermott realized, all right, Nate Peterson just isn't the answer, he decided to go to Josh Allen and name Josh Allen his starting quarterback for the season. And when you look at what has gone on since then, I think Josh Allen's rookie year, he was all right. No one really expected anything much of him. He was just running around, having a good time. I think the Bills were better than other people expected. A lot of people predicted them to go 0-16. They won, 3-4, handful of games. And then last year, Josh Allen played pretty well. He led the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs. And I do think, while Josh Allen played well last year, the main reason why that Buffalo Bills team last year was so effective and successful was because of Sean McDermott. I have said it for many years now, or many months now. The main reason why Buffalo was so effective last year was because I really liked Sean McDermott's ability to put not only Josh Allen, but the rest of his team in a position to be successful. As a rookie, Josh Allen threw 10 touchdowns against 12 interceptions. This season, he has 12 touchdowns against just 1 pick. He also ranks 3rd in adjusted net yards per attempt at 9.3, 2nd in passer rating with 122.7, and 2nd in QBR at 89.8, after failing to rank higher than 23rd in those categories in either of his first 2 seasons. PFF was so famously anti-Allen that Bills fans made anti-PFF t-shirts that lists Allen as the 5th highest passer among all quarterbacks. And the thing about Josh Allen is that with Josh Allen, okay, he's very good at football, and he's a very good athlete. I don't really think anyone expected him to be this good of an athlete when he was coming into the league out of Wyoming. I think we all knew that the arm was there, and nothing else. And that's the first thing I want to compliment him on. His mobility is ridiculous. And I don't know how many other NFL players, quarterbacks or otherwise, could have opposing defenders pile onto him and fight through them the way Josh Allen does. He does play, a very entertaining brand of football. But to some, accuracy issues may seem like it's not a big deal. Just teach the guy to throw better, NBA coaches have proved capable of turning players with broken shots into effective three-point threats. Pitchers who have struggled with accuracy issues in the minor leagues have improved their control as their careers have gone on. But quarterback accuracy, for the most part, does not seem like a teachable skill. Just ask, any football coach. I think when you look at, Josh Allen and throughout his career, that's the one thing he's really struggled with it. With that. I'm looking at a Josh Allen highlight film right now. He's going back to throw and just, no clueless whatsoever. No clue whatsoever. And I think he's done a better job, making himself a little more aware since he's been in the NFL, and obviously coaching has a lot to do with that. But my thing is this. Do you guys think the Buffalo Bills could win a Super Bowl with Josh Allen? And that's my first question for you guys, is that for me, I don't think you could answer that question with a yes, because especially when you look at the way the AFC is built right now. I spent a lot of last show talking about it. I've spoken a lot about the Kansas City Chiefs and obviously how good they are, how effective they are, and how when you look at Kansas City, they're the defending Super Bowl champions, and right now, I think they are the favorite to repeat as Super Bowl champions and to be the first repeat Super Bowl champion since the Patriots of the early 2000s. But at the same time, when you look at the people that say, all right, it's just way too hard to repeat, teams have never done it, teams haven't done it, in the last couple of years, how is that going to work? And I think those people are going to be the same people that say, okay, if anyone could beat the Kansas City Chiefs, maybe it is Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, a young quarterback who was in the playoffs last year, experienced heartbreak. Ultimately, it wasn't enough to get the job done. And this year, not only him, but the rest of the team and the coach look significantly better. And I'm not saying that Josh Allen and the Bills don't deserve credit for that. I think right now, when I look at the Buffalo Bills, I see a 11-5, 10-6 type football team, which is really good. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs. Before Cam Newton got COVID, I was higher on the Patriots and their ability to win the AFC East, but that's just because of, the trust I have for Cam Newton and Bill Belichick. Well, when you look at how they're playing, New England, they don't have Cam Newton right now, so Buffalo has a 2-game lead on them. So when you look at Buffalo, I think they're a really good team. My question for you guys, though, is this. Could you guys see Josh Allen out-throwing Pat Mahomes in a big game? Because for me, the answer to that question is a big-time no. And that's why I think Buffalo is in the spot that they're in right now. I think when you look at the AFC, we could all agree, once again, Kansas City at the top. We all know how good and how effective they could be. When you look at the Baltimore Ravens, I know they have to win a playoff game. I get it. But they were 14-2 last year. They look like to be one of the better teams in football again this year, as long as they're not playing the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Pittsburgh. You have Buffalo. But besides those, a couple of those other teams at the top, you don't really see any other squad like in that range of who could possibly challenge the Chiefs. And that's why Buffalo is going to be a lot of people's top pick to ultimately be that team. But the thing with the Buffalo Bills here is this, is that, one, I don't think their quarterback is good enough to do it from a pure passing perspective. As good as Josh Allen has been so far this season, as running the ball and as athletic as he's played, he's done it against the Jets, Dolphins, Raiders, and Rams. And the game against the Rams was impressive, but it was impressive for 3 quarters. That one quarter alone, where Buffalo was outscored, they almost blew that big 28-3 lead. That one quarter alone kind of just told me all I need to know about this guy, is that in a big spot when Buffalo needs points, is this guy going to be able to deliver and silence the critics about how not accurate his passing is? Because ultimately with the Buffalo Bills, that's going to be the big thing. Right now, Buffalo has a huge game scheduled on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans. Now, we know the situation the Tennessee Titans are dealing with right now with COVID and everything, and odds are we don't even know if this game is going to happen or not. But at the same time, it hasn't been called yet. So if it doesn't get called, who do I think is going to win and why? I think the Tennessee Titans do, just because, I hate to say it, Ryan Tannehill is more accurate of a passer than Josh Allen. They're playing at home, and Tennessee is 3-0 too. I think Buffalo and Tennessee are two very similar teams. And Josh Allen, I know it sounds like I'm hating on him. I'm not. I think he's a really good quarterback. He's a top 16 quarterback in the league right now. But at the same time, I just don't trust him yet as a quarterback that I think could win a big game in a big spot. And all you have to know is that playoff game last year against the Houston Texans. And this guy is just so erratic with his decision-making sometimes. If I was a guy that was like, all right, I have a free $100 to spend on anyone in the AFC to win the Super Bowl, not named Baltimore or Kansas City, I would take Pittsburgh before I take Buffalo, just because I trust their quarterback more. I would hate to lose that free $100 that I got on like a brain fart fumble, And ultimately, that's what happened to Josh Allen last week. He just had a brain fart fumble against the Rams, and that's exactly what happened to him in the playoff game against the Houston Texans as well. So when I look at Josh Allen, I like what I've seen. I think he's getting better overall as a football player. I just think he has a ceiling. And with that being said, I just think this Buffalo Bills team has a ceiling. We talk about the Buffalo Bills usually as one of the top contenders in the AFC. And by usually, I mean this year. Many people consider them to be that. One of the teams that has the best chance to take on and challenge the Kansas City Chiefs. And 1 week from tonight, Buffalo will have a huge Thursday night home game against the Kansas City Chiefs. I think that game is obviously going to tell us a lot about where the Buffalo Bills are right now in comparison to some of the other top teams in the AFC. They will not play Baltimore, but they play Pittsburgh. They'll also have games against Seattle, against Arizona, against the Niners. So those games will obviously be very intriguing to watch as well. But Josh Allen's one of the more fascinating figures in the league. And I think even though he's improving, just because you've seen those certain improvements in certain areas, the bottom line is I don't think you should let those improvements tell you that this Buffalo Bill team has a higher ceiling than it actually really does.